Hello, boss world. Welcome to Boxing Block Center. Good morning, guys. Dominic Breazeale knocked out Carlos Negron in the ninth round in their bout. After he knocked him out, he called out Deontay Wilder as well. Funny enough, Deontay Wilder was at ringside, watching the fight. I guess he went there to watch, fighters like the Charlos. And I think he supports the Charlos. Very close to Ronnie Chase as well, their trainer. Well, I want to give my thoughts on what I think about the fight. First of all, where will I start from? Dominic Breazeale should not fight into honest, or he might risk just dying in the ring. I don't know. Maybe getting no dying is a bad word. Like getting hurt, really hurt, because his performance against Carlos Negron wasn't nice. I slept off while I was watching the fight. I just kind of fell asleep. I never knew when. And then this morning I had to rewatch it again, and it was a very nice knockout. Dominic Breazeale is a guy we all know is very heavy-handed. We saw that against Izo Gono. We know Dominic Breazeale's got a very good gas tank. I mean, he doesn't really gas out easy like that. And he's only gotten stopped once by Anthony Joshua. The problem that I find in Dominic Breazeale is that he's not active. He's not active enough for a fighter, And I sat down here and just think about the whole scenario, the whole drama. Looking at this particular case, how is Dominic Breazeale the mandatory challenger for Deontay Wilder's WBC title when Dillian Whyte has faced the better opponents? He's beat guys like Joseph Parker, guys like Cesar twice, Robert Elenius, Lucas Brown. This guy has been stepping up ever since he lost to Anthony Joshua. And last night, Dillian Whyte called out Anthony Joshua. I'm going to do a video about that anyway, so I have a lot of things to do today, but I'm going to do a video about that differently. Dominic Breazeale from the first round was getting hard-jobbed by Carlos Negron. Carlos Negron, I don't think is the best opponent. Like an opponent like Carlos Negron should be out of there, in my opinion, in the fifth round maximum. We know, well, he's a very tough guy, and he knows how to use his size anyway. I mean, he's not really a bomb like that, but I don't think Carlos Negron is at the same level with Dominic Breazeale. We all saw that Dominic Breazeale yesterday got caught a lot. I mean, he was getting tagged by Carlos Negron. I was just sitting down thinking, okay, what if Deontay Wilder was the one hitting Dominic Breazeale like that? He might have been over in the fifth round. Dominic Breazeale looked confused. I know that he's a guy that, that wants to take punishment and then give back as well. But in the sport of boxing, especially when you are fighting big monsters like Joshua, Deontay Wilder, if those guys tag you, if they hit you, maybe more than 10 to 15 times, I don't know what will happen to your life. It's just that those guys are just too powerful. You know, they hit so hard that you don't want to stand there and receive the punch. You have to move. And Dominic Breazeale is not a mover. You know, when he defeated Izugano, you know, I think he should have be more active. Instead, he's only fought once, I guess, against Eric Molina. He beat Eric Molina. He knocked him out. And yeah, I think it's maybe twice or once. I don't know. I don't remember. But he's not active. He's not active for heavyweight. That's why he was very sloppy, you know, in the fight with against Carlos Negron. Carlos Negron came with a very good strategy, and I'm very surprised that the trainer of Luis Ortiz is the trainer of Carlos Negron. I could see some improvement there from Carlos Negron. I think Negron still has a future in the heavyweight division. I think he can still compete with the likes of Nathan Gorman, you know, the likes of Daniel Dubois, the likes of Efe Ajagba. And by the way, Efe Ajagba's fight wasn't televised. I will get to that in the next video. I've got a lot to say, you know. So, by the way, Carlos Negron is a guy that's a very good boxer, no doubt about it. You know, he's a very good boxer. But I don't think he's at the level of Dominic Breazeale yet. I mean, he's not. I mean, he's not. Dominic Breazeale has been with the elites, you know, top elites and top prospect as well. He managed to stop Izugano. I mean, ever since then, Izugano hasn't been active. I don't know why. You know, I think fighters need to be active. This is the reason why I like Eddie Hearn. A lot of people give Eddie Hearn stick and call him Snake and all those sort of names they call him. But you cannot deny that Eddie Hearn always makes sure his fighters are good. He always makes sure that his fighters are active, and he makes sure that the fighters improve in every fight. At least we saw that against Dillian White. I mean, with Dillian White and Joshua. You know, he likes to step his fighters up. I mean, match them up with the right opponent at the right time. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but most of the times it does. So you just have to take it as it is. I don't know what to say. What do you guys think about Dominic Breazeale beating Deontay Wilder? I mean, he pointed finger at Deontay Wilder and called him out. Wilder was like, "Hey, come on, Wilder." I think Wilder wants to fight Dominic Breazeale. I mean, I think so. I think he also wants to fight Tyson Fury. You know, wants to fight after rematch, but I don't see how that fight will happen next. But you never know. Tyson Fury is a guy that can go anywhere, travel anywhere, and fight you in your backyard. He doesn't give a fuck about you. But it would be, you know, fair for Tyson Fury to have that fight in the UK. You know, at least have an home advantage. You know, because Deontay Wilder had that, you know, in America, and Tyson Fury has to also have that, in my opinion. But hey, those fighters, they fight for money, you know, so a lot of them fight for money. So they need it to survive and feed their families, right? So you can't blame them if they go for more money. Dominic Breazeale's performance was very poor. I don't want to see him against Wilder next. I don't want to see him against Wilder next. He needs to stay more active, you know. Stay active. Maybe have a couple of fights. Maybe like 2-3 fights. Then you can go in with Wilder. Because right now, if you go in with Wilder, he's going to be brutal. I mean, it's going to be brutal. I love Dominic Breazeale. I like the guy a lot. Very calm, respectful. And he himself knows that he's not ready for Wilder at the moment. Because you could tell, last night, I mean, you could tell with the fight and how he fought, how sloppy he was. You know, I mean, he didn't pick his shot well. It was just, at one time, throwing too much haymakers. It was frustrating to watch. We know Dominic Breazeale is a guy that can brawl as well and fight, but in some fights he used his jab. I mean, he has a very decent jab. His jab is not the best, but he has a very decent jab, and he knows how to use it. I didn't see that in this fight against Carlos Negron. It was Dominic Breazeale being sloppy, Dominic Breazeale being out-jabbed by Carlos Negron. I mean, Dominic Breazeale was getting back, let's say, getting out-bossed. What Dominic Breazeale had, in this fight is the chin. I mean, what had him standing there and still moving forward is his chin. I mean, he's got a very decent chin. I mean, this guy has been hit with a lot of, punches to the head, to the body. He's been pounced by Joshua, but he still kept fighting until he got stopped. And I respect Dominic Breazeale. I mean, he has a very decent chin. But you cannot just rely on your chin. I mean, you can't rely on your chin. No, you can't. This is every division, and this is boxing, especially looking at the long-term brain damage that it can cause you. So I think Dominic Breazeale should go back to the drawing board. Him and his team, I mean, our Hammer, he's signed to our Hammer, right? So go to our Hammer planet. I just don't know how he's the mandatory challenger for Deontay Wilder. I just don't know how when Dillian Whyte is the #1 contender. But that's politics for you. Boxing politics makes the fights we want to see more difficult. So it is likely that Joshua may fight Dillian Whyte next if Deontay Wilder does not take that fight. Deontay Wilder, I don't know what he's thinking of doing, but we'll see what happens, guys. Did you watch the fight? Were you impressed by Dominic Breazeale? Was he too sloppy? Should he get in with Wilder now, or should he have more fights? I mean, in my opinion, he needs to have a couple of fights. I mean, more like 2-3 fights than getting with Wilder. Because if he goes in now with Wilder, Wilder might be a very terrible boxer, but that right hand and his power is not to be joked with, guys. I'm just saying it. Like the video, give your thoughts below, share, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. Cheers.